Let's get ourselves connected. You gotta get yourself connected.
Well, Linux has long made inroads into the computer world, but now it's going into the mobile world. To help us understand what the future lies with that, we have Jack Kapica from the Globe and Mail. Thanks for joining us, Jack.
Thank you, Mike.
So what are you seeing here? Linux becoming more prevalent in mobile devices, cell phones, data devices?
It very much will be. You know, Google's planning on a telephone as well, and that's going to be a Linux-based phone, but they're apparently quite a ways from developing or releasing a working model. Much closer to now, however, is another cell phone from a company called OpenMoko. Great name, eh? M-O-K-O attached to the word open. And what they're coming out with is a phone called the Neo Freerunner. Neo as in N-E-O. I mean, there's all these references to the old Matrix movie, right? But
yeah,
that runs not only on the open source Linux system, but also, guess what? They've just put the actual case of the cell phone as open source as well. So what happens is that you can just download the specs for the case as a computer-aided design file, inhale it into your own computer-aided design computer program on your machine, redesign the phone, and then ship the new designs off to some company with a 3D printer that'll sit there and hack it out. I mean, it's not something that you and I would want to do. It'll be far more expensive, far too expensive for us to do. But what will happen is that if you're a large corporation, you want to have a specially designed handset just for you and your employees, then it might be worth it.
Well, it's interesting because the telcos really have a tight hold on what type of phones go onto their network. And I'm just wondering, how much are they going to loosen that over the next couple of years?
Well, I think it's a big question. I think it's going to have to fall apart at some point, that their control is going to let go. Now, what's happening is that the reason that I find the OpenMoko quite interesting is because, and of course the G phone, is that we've had a situation now in which the handset manufacturers, people like Nokia, LG, Samsung, Motorola, and so on, what they do is they design phones that are demanded by, or with features that are demanded by the various different cell phone operations. So like Rogers calls up these guys and said, well, you know, we think we can sell X, Y, and Z features, so why don't you put them in a cell phone, and then Nokia, LG, or whoever it is will then stuff them into the phone. Now this is, you know, who's wagging whom here, the tail of the dog, is a classic question. But they can do this, you see, and this is the way it's happening. So you're not getting the actual manufacturers driving the market or catching up with the market. What they're doing, their market, is the people that they sell to, and the people they sell to are Rogers and Bell Mobility and AT&T and Sprint and all the rest of the companies. And eventually, at some point, someone's going to have to move in and break that. Now, the OpenMoko phone is actually a GSM phone, which means you get a little SIM card that you stuff into it, just like you get from any Rogers telephone. And then all you buy from Rogers is an account, and you supply your own phone, which you've bought. That is where the big thing is going to happen, so that Rogers can no longer, or Bell or whoever, is no longer going to be able to force a phone down your throat. They'll have to deal with you as a separate customer.
Well, Jack, I want to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Mike.
That was Jack Kapica from the Globe and Mail. You can check out more of Jack on globetechnology.com.